Firstly, first things first, had a good day yesterday. It wasn't a clean day, but I was really, really happy. We closed out obviously USD at the right time. We actually messed up on gold. We closed out too early. It then spiked up. Everything that we anticipated yesterday, went in our favor. Just obviously could have been a huge, huge day. Just obviously didn't hold gold. Long enough, but obviously popped up, very, very nicely, yeah, we had lots of obviously new members join yesterday, so hopefully, obviously, welcome, welcome, anyone who's new. It's nice to obviously have you in here, and obviously, just going over everything. Really, just take note of my routine because obviously what I will do every single day is I'll go through the same routine, and then obviously we can then we can play around with it, and obviously you can then learn how and why I'm doing everything. So yeah, that's obviously one of the important things, right? I know you guys won't be able to see it because it won't come up on my screen. I'm currently a little bit in profit. I've got 80 USD running a drawdown. I've got GBP USD around break even, little bit of drawdown, but we got gold in some. I got gold in some good profit. So that's kind of swallowing up everything else. So pretty happy. Right, let's go through everything to start off with. So the dollar. I actually think dollar is, struggling to break through, any lower. I was surprised that we obviously hit 19.7 yesterday. I do need to do a bit of research on this, but obviously money flows definitely were into gold yesterday. I was surprised it didn't pop up a bit higher. But obviously, it is what it is. So yeah, I was surprised. Yesterday, what we kind of look for, and I had this question yesterday: why was obviously gold? Why is gold pumping, and how did I come up with a scenario that obviously hedge funds are putting money in? If we've got dollar declining, if we got yields declining, and if we got stock markets like holding kind of not really moving anywhere, money's got to be flowing somewhere. All right, so it's obviously flowing into gold right now, so pretty happy. And like I'd said, that's obviously one thing that we've got to keep an eye on. So moving on to the news today, that's obviously our kind of goal number two here. We had a little bit of Aussie news, nothing major really. That's pretty good for Australia. But we've got obviously 130 is key. We've got some employment data, we've got import export, we've got retail sales. We've got a lot coming in for the US dollar today. So I don't think US dollar is geared up as bad as it's trading right now. I think it's very, very over, sold. And I wonder if it's priced in for a reason or if it's not priced in, because actually the jobs data this week is pretty optimistic. If we look at like non-farm payrolls, supposed to be up. We got the unemployment rate, is supposed to stay. Do they know something that we don't know? And is this going to tick up? This is the key one tomorrow, because obviously it's already anticipated to increase. And then obviously we've got CPI data on Friday. Again, to obviously reduce slightly, which will be good. It means inflation is obviously coming down. This is the only this is the only one really, because obviously they want to encourage, um, if inflation is still rising, then obviously they're gonna tighten everything. So they're gonna keep rates higher. Obviously vice versa, the opposite direction. So we do have to be aware of it. But I think everything's a bit hype driven right now. I don't think dollar should be trading here, if I'm honest. I think, and the reason why we're obviously going with gold is there's definitely flows in, and obviously it's too much of a risk, to sell it. Do I think we're going to hit this high? No, but I think we're going to stay in this range here. So I think we're going to be in this range here. So that's what I think personally. So yeah. We've then got obviously USDJPY, was obviously, you can see here it's trending. Yen is one we obviously want to be on the right side. We know there's this dark cloud which is coming, in regards to yen because there is threatens of oh my God, my head is just lost the word. You know, yeah, yeah, it's gone. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure where it's gone. Intervention. There we go. Intervention. So they obviously elected a prime minister yesterday. Or I think it was a prime minister. I need to do a bit more digging on that one. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a lot of digging because I don't want to miss out on this yen trade. I want to make sure that we are in it because it's going to drop a lot if it happens. All right, it might not happen. If it happens, brilliant. If it doesn't happen, there we go. It is what it is. So yeah, that's obviously that's one thing. But obviously, I still want to be a bit more patient. If we're looking at the dollar to kind of hold, then we obviously need to be aware. That yeah, that it should it should, hold its ground, in regards to this. Yen's pretty strong overall, as you can see here. If we were grading our pairs, yen would be at the top. It would be the strongest because it's up against everything. So that's why I just wanted to wait for this trend. I didn't want this to tap, so I've been a bit more patient on that one. Euro, same, all right. Euro's strong, and obviously, like I mentioned here, we've got to look at trend here, all right. And Euro's probably the only thing that I do like a little bit more upside before, we obviously have some downside, and obviously that's why I've been a little bit more patient on our entry. Pound is really, really weak right now. If you monitor it's very, very basic what we do here. Yes, obviously I'd taken overall macros. I got even asked about do I read COT reports yesterday. Well, the answer is yes. That's obviously one of my weekendly chores. If you guys wanted to, it's a COT. COT comes out every Friday, and it's obviously just explaining money flows in a little bit of detail. So yeah, but happy with obviously our entry here on JPY USD, bit of profit, but obviously nothing major. AUD USD, I think this is due to come down and obviously hit at least into this area here. We've got a lot of liquidity here, so that's what we're kind of hoping here. Just want it to come down into this area, and then we'll wait and see. But I do think gold is keeping this up. Gold is definitely keeping this up. We obviously also have to be aware of that too. And then obviously gold, which is pumping nicely. Everyone should be in some nice profit here. Doesn't matter where you entered. I think we entered at 5026. So brilliant. Really, really happy. Already 140 pips in profit. But I might be looking to take this trade off the table early. I mean, it's very, very nice for me. Yeah, you know, it's basically making up for obviously Aussie and pound. Pound's in a bit of profit too. So yeah, I'll show you guys that one. But no, very, very, very happy. Starting to trend, nicely. So let's wait and see how this one ends up. But I am going to be probably looking not to take this higher. I don't like how price is this morning. I think we're going to have a bit of consolidation this morning, leading into the news we've got at 1:30. All right, so trades today will not be at 1, they'll be at 1:30. Once this news has come out, that's when we will hop on. It'll be very, very quick. So I'm going to try and obviously get these out as quick as I can. But obviously, like I've said, for all of those who are new, news creates waves, right? So we want to be riding, our wave after I'm a great drawer, I know. It's terrible. But obviously we want data to come out, all right? And then we want to be in this position here, yeah? All right. What we don't want to do is be that idiot, all right, who, starts, surfing here. That is a very round surfboard. All right. And, he's obviously pre-news happening. And then the news leaves him behind. All these nice waves here and trends are all here. And then he ain't ever getting back. All right. So let's make sure that we are guy, number A, not obviously guy, B. All right, so that's why we rotate, a few things, and obviously, yeah, why we like to, why we like to, make sure that we're obviously waiting for these waves to be created. So Greg, so you think let's go through few of these message. Wide sell Aussie as gold is going up. Well, gold's not 100% Aussie, all right? Gold makes a little bit of Aussie up, it doesn't make it all up. And remember what it's trading against here. All right. So yes, gold being being positive is going to stop Aussie from obviously the dumping. All right, you're going to notice, GBP USDD, for example, will absolutely tank. All right, euro. Remember, we're matching up a economy against economy. That is our job. We've got to value and grade economies, which one's stronger, which one's weaker. That is all our job is. It isn't charts. All right, it's not charts at all. You could trade without charts and just monitor is euro at the moment stronger than the US dollar? The answer is yes. Is Aussie stronger than the US dollar? It is, but is it overbought? Yes. Per pound weaker, right? That's why we've been trying, to sell it. Even this one, USDJPY, even though we're pro dollar, all right, is it stronger than, yen? Well, yen is the strongest pair of this morning, by a country mile. It's up against everything. So all we're doing is comparing strongest, weakest, strongest, weakest. That is how FX is. That's the easiest way of explaining it. So yeah. That's wait and see. Why are you selling GBP? I've just explained that. So you think gold? I'm actually going to look to probably exit gold. I don't think it's going to push up much higher. One thing is yields. I'm interested to see what happens with yields here. All right, because stocks still struggling, but dollar is I think dollar is going to be coming into 130. I think we're going to be trading around this area here. Oh, I think we're going to be trading around this area here because it can't stay below 97. They're not doing that bad, so that's why yes, I do feel like we're not here, if you look at it here, yes, all right, Aussie is trading to the upside, all right. So all we're doing is trading fades to then capitalize uh, properly, all right. So that's all we're kind of looking for, at the moment. We've got to be realistic, remember we're acting, we're trying to be a little bit more aggressive because we're obviously not having these comfortable, moves here. I mean, you guys, I feel sorry for anyone who's getting into trading in this last kind of year because they must look at it and think, "Fuck, it's really hard." Whereas normally, a move like this would look like this. All right. And then it's very easy. This is what every course is based on structure, understanding it. You can't go wrong. If you're going with trend, you're going with structure, you're being patient, you're not going to be that far off. But what's happening at the moment is we're getting these frigging crazy moves here, and there's just no structure, So then everyone's either being trying to be patient, doing the right thing, and waiting for price to come into this area, which isn't happening, And then obviously they're then panicking, and they'd see this turnaround here and that they're entering here and then stopped out, and it's just yeah, it's very, very hard. So don't obviously. You've always got to be editing your, strategies, slightly. My kind of main edit is aggression. I'll either be, I'll be a bit more aggressive because obviously, price isn't doing what we want it to do, or I'll be a bit less aggressive, if we're obviously happy. So, for example, yes, euro, we're obviously not we're going against the dollar, which we're with, so I am less aggressive. Yeah. All right. Because I want it to pop down. Because what's going to happen, all right, if euro pops down into our area, all right, triggers us, all right, what's going to happen to GBP USD? It's going to pop down here, all right? Very worst case, we're going to have our stops at break even and we're going to take some profit off the table. Aussie, what's going to happen? It's going to pop down here. Very worst case, we'll take our profits off. We'll move stops to break even, take some profits off the table. So we're covered. All right, and it's playing the game, like that. All right, and exactly the same with USDJPY. That's going to drag into our area while the others are dragging down. We can take a bit of profit off of those, and then obviously, capitalize both ways. So there is obviously method to my madness, but it's making sure markets do what we want it to do, so, and actually it covers us either way. So, we're actually playing the game smart. We're playing the game how we're supposed to. And obviously that is, what I'm trying to open everyone's eyes about, as opposed to just hopping on the charts and buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. Oh my God, my account's blown. All right. So that's what we're trying to achieve here. Let's just have a little more questions. Have I exited gold? Not yet, because obviously I am live with you guys, but I probably will look to exit. 'Cause I don't think it's going to push up much higher. I could be wrong, but I'd rather have an average morning leading up because I know that this afternoon's going to be huge. All right. So because we've got some real good, solid data coming out. So yeah, does anyone have any more questions? Any more for any more? I'm on coffee number two, and that'll be it for me. Oh, any more for any more? Um, any more for any more? No? All right, cool. Right, everyone have a great day. I will update you what I'm doing. I probably will be coming out of gold. So yeah, have a beautiful Tuesday. And yeah, let's make sure that we stay on target and smash it. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one.